Guys, welcome to a Pokemon Sword and Shield talk through, also review and what I think of the game so far. So the Pokemon that was added to this game, in my opinion, were very cool. All the starter Pokemons, I think this is one of the hardest choices that there's ever been. Personally, the worst line in my opinion is the Grookey line. But there are a lot of people that like it. The only reason I don't like the Grookey line is I don't like Rillaboom as much, because I don't like that he's given like a pair of drums. That was my opinion. I think it could have went a cooler route in my opinion. Scorbunny is, in my opinion, the strongest. I think the fact that he can be fire and fighting is very strong. He learns a lot of moves that can help him out. Like, for example, he can learn Aerial Ace, which is a massive move to have on top of his fire moves and his fighting moves. So yeah, I think he is very good. Sobble is one of the strongest water types I've seen. Very interesting Pokemon as well. Don't like his second evolution, but his last evolution is very cool, and all the first evolutions are really good for these Pokemon. I like Grookey's first evolution the best. I think he is the coolest on the first evolution, but Scorbunny is the one I would pick if I was going back through another playthrough now. Two legendary Pokemon. Now, I'm very mixed on these. Samacenta I think is really cool. In my opinion is the better. Not necessarily better as in gameplay wise. Gameplay wise Zacian's better, but Samacenta looks cooler. The reason I don't like Zacian as much is because I don't like his sword in his mouth. And I just think Samacenta's overall design when he's got the shield is really cool. It just looks really nice and cool, sleek really. So these are the newly discovered Pokemon. Now, Gossifleur, quite a cool little flowery type Pokemon, not really going to come at as much use, but then you do get Eldegoss, really good for competitive play. You can teach it. I think the move is, it's not Whirlwind, something like Tailwind, and basically what it does is it brings, like say if you've got a double battle, it brings a lot of wind behind you, so it speeds up your moves because they're having to fight against it all. Really cool Pokemon, very good support if you're playing competitively, and if you're playing TCG, one of the strongest cards in the TCG because of its ability. Wooloo, quite a cool simple Pokemon, like literally they've just adapted the sheep into a little cool cartoony Pokemon. Quite a cool design. Does obviously evolve into Double, and Double's also very cool. Oh god. But yeah, I think Wooloo's again quite a cool Pokemon. Corviknight, I think he's one of the best Pokemon that was introduced to this. Amazing design. The Steel type Pokemon, especially seeing as this Pokemon is very British themed. Really cool design, and yeah, it's really good. Dreadnought, like I really liked him, just like he wasn't that great of a Pokemon in the game, unfortunately. Alcremie doesn't really bother me. Yamper was really cool, but I was gutted that he evolved into Boltund. Roly-Poly, don't like Roly-Poly in the next one, but his last evolution is pretty cool. Duraludon, really cool. His Dynamax is crazy, like didn't expect it to evolve into that, but it does look very cool and unique. Obstagoon made the Zigzagoon evolution interesting for me. Morpeko, probably one of the best Pikachu clones out there because he is actually very useful in the game. Cramorant, quite a memey Pokemon in my opinion. But yeah, like if you want to see more of my opinions on most of these Pokemon, I do have another video voting on all the Sword and Shield Pokemon that were added. The only Pokemon that we haven't actually probably seen yet is this Pokemon, Sarude. Now this Pokemon is really cool. I don't know how he's going to be unlocked, but he says, "We confirm the assistance of new mythical Pokemon Sarude. This Pokemon cannot be found through normal gameplay. A rogue monkey Pokemon, dark grass, and also knows the ability Leaf Guard." Really cool. Looks like a unique grass type as well. I think he's going to be one of the strongest grass types out there. But yeah, I think he's one of the coolest Pokemon, in my opinion. So going on, gameplay wise, I've got no real complaints over the gameplay. The only thing that I would say is it's too easy. EXP shares a good thing, but it does make the game ridiculously easy. I think it's fine to add EXP share, but I think maybe you should get a lot less EXP, because my problem is, like, I got to all the gyms and I felt like in the other games you would have to take on every trainer before you got to that gym, whereas these games I felt like no matter what I did, when I got to the gyms I was already at that level to take on them. So yeah, I think it was too easy in my opinion. Really cool storyline, maybe too much dialogue in the game at some points. You do tend to zone out a bit on it. The main characters look really cool. Leon is an amazing design for like the best trainer in the region. Hop can get a bit annoying at times, but again, quite a cool sidekick. He builds a lot of his character throughout the game. The rest of them I'm not really going to mention. Sonia, quite a cool, interesting scientist. I'm not going to mention about a lot of the others because they might give away a bit of the story. So yeah, I'm not going to mention them. All the gym leaders now, these guys are really cool. The gym leaders do vary from game. Like, if you buy Sword or Shield, you will vary between Bea or Alistair, and Gordy and Melanie. So in my playthrough of Shield, I think you get Milo, Nessa, Alistair, Kaboo, Opal, and then Gordy, and then you also have Piers and Raihan. But if you were playing Sword, you go Milo, Nessa, Bea, Kaboo, Opal, and Melanie, I'm pretty sure, and then these two. Really cool gyms. Not the puzzles are unique. Not too difficult. Opal's gym was probably my favourite gym to go to because it's completely different than any gym I've been to, really. So yeah, I think they were all really good. Maybe they could make Bea's and Alistair's a little bit different. There wasn't really much other than typing. But I really enjoyed them. Overall, the gameplay's really cool. I think it's the most fluent Pokemon game we've had so far. Really unique. Gigantamax forms are really cool, but I'm not that keen on the Dynamaxing. I'd rather them have kept, in my opinion, the Mega forms. I think the Mega forms were just cooler. But it's interesting for the competitive, in my opinion, to have these, because obviously it boosts their health and that. And I think it's going to be very interesting because you're going to get a lot of competitive plays where it might be a case where your Pokemon's nearly going to die and you Dynamax and you survive because of the Dynamax. So yeah, I think it's going to be very cool for competitive. Unfortunately, obviously competitive's not going to be as good as it was the last few years because of this whole coronavirus going around. So yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, if you want to know a bit about the story, basically what you do is you're in this region that is it's like Britain basically. They based this off a British scenery. You start off with your best friend Hop, you go off, get your Pokemon. Hop's brother is Leon, which is the champion of the Galar region. And basically you go through the whole game trying to become the champion of that region. After that you do find out a few things. I'm not going to spoil it, but there are a few things that go on in the game that you have to take on whilst trying to get to that stage. And then there also is a bit after you completely take out Leon for the champion, basically. There is a extra episode on top of that, which is definitely worth checking out, and you won't get the legendary Pokemon unless if you do. Sorry if that spoiled it, but it shouldn't be that bad really. But yeah, it was very good. A lot of people did skip the bit after, but I wouldn't, because it doesn't take that long. It's very easy, and you do get the legendary Pokemon from it, but it's up to you. But yeah, then this DLC came out. Now, I was really looking forward to this DLC, and I'm not saying it's bad, because it's not. Design released a lot of Pokemon. Gameplay wise, I think it's going to add to a lot of it. So the Isle of Armor came out. Now, if you look at that paintwork, it's really cool. Introduction of Venusaur and Blastoise's Gigantamax. Introducing Urshifu and Kubfu. Was quite cool. Very interesting at the start, and then it got to a point where you had to grind out Kubfu. And I think it would have been better if they went, okay, new region, new Pokemon. We'll give you this Pokemon to start off with, and then you go through the region leveling up like any normal Pokemon game. Because I went into it and it was literally like I was one hitting everything. I just wasn't enjoying it because I didn't have a Pokemon that was around about the right level. So I had to use Pokemon that were quite over leveled, which wasn't great. It made it a little bit boring, and I think that's what they could have done a lot better. But overall, the scenery, really cool. Personally, for a DLC, there wasn't enough in this DLC. Yes, we saw a lot of Pokemon get added in, like I think 151 Pokemon got added on top of the 400 that were already in there, which is really good. Some really cool Pokemon like Cypher, Talonflame, Slowpoke obviously. Really cool Pokemon being added, and it's going to make competitive a lot better because they can use all these Pokemon now. But for a DLC, there just wasn't enough for me. At the moment, I can value the Season Pass because it has added a lot, but I can't value it for a DLC alone. If this was the only DLC coming out, I wouldn't have bought it. But yeah, I think the Pokemon added, really cool. Kubfu and the two stances of Urshifu, really cool Pokemon. I think they will be used in competitive with their forms they can use. But I just think, for me, I like being a lot of storyline, and there just wasn't enough in it. It was more about all these Pokemon have been added, not enough about a storyline. But the characters in it really cool. Mustard, which is the dojo leader, which is in this picture here. Really cool character. Just they were missing bits, that's the only problem. Another new region, really, and the region, it does look very nice, just I think they could have done more with it, and I think the problem is they are learning the Switch capabilities, and I think it is good, definitely worth picking up if you are a Pokemon fan, but don't pick up if you're thinking it's for the storyline, pick up for the Pokemon basically. Crown Tundra now. This is where I think the season pass is going to be worth it, because one, just looking at the picture, you can see 3 legendaries, well, 4 legendaries, and these 3 legendaries here are the 3 legendary birds. So you've got Moltres over here, Zapdos, Articuno, and they've all changed their typing. Zapdos is now fighting, Moltres is now dark, and Articuno is now psychic. But one thing I have realised is they do have abilities to go back to their old, not to their old forms, but abilities that bring back some of the moves from their old forms, which is really cool. Then you've also got the new Regis, Regieleki and Regidragon, is it? Which are really cool, but I think this is going to be the DLC that's going to be worth it. It's already shown that it's going to show a lot more legendaries in this DLC, and I think it's going to be a really cool storyline. It looks like maybe Chairman Rose might make a revisit in this one, so if you've seen it, that's very interesting. And I just think this is going to be the selling point of it. But overall, if I was going to rate Pokemon Sword and Shield, I would probably give it a good 9. There's not a lot wrong for a Pokemon game, I just think the fact that they were missing a lot of Pokemon from the start, it felt a bit like, oh well, what can I do after I've done this, other than competitive, because the other games you could go, oh, okay, I'll take one to maybe the beauty contest, and they had like little mini games like that, whereas this game doesn't really have any little mini games. The only thing you can do after is the Gigantamax raids, any of the raids, competitive play and shiny hunting. So yeah, that's my complaints. But overall, storyline very good. Collector wise, there is a lot to collect in the game, to be fair. Because even when you collect all the Pokemon, you collect all the curries that they do. You can shiny hunt, which takes forever. So yeah, I think it's really cool. But there's a bit that's missing in these games. But yeah, I think if you haven't got Pokemon Sword and Shield and you're a Pokemon fan, pick it up as soon as you can, and definitely do buy the DLC. As much as Isle of Armor was a bit disappointed with, it's still worth it for all the Pokemon that you're going to gain. And also Crown Tundra is definitely going to be worth it by the looks of it. One, just for these new birds and the new Regis and the Tundra Pokemon. So yeah, overall, very satisfied by the game. I just think they could do with a bit more. I think give it maybe a few years time when the next Pokemon comes out, I think they will really nail that Pokemon game. This was more of a game where they're like, okay, the Switch is kind of new to us, will learn in what it can do, and that's the problem with most of the games that do come out straight away. But yeah, definitely worth picking up. Recommend it very much. But anyway, if you enjoy this video, obviously make sure you like the video. Comment down below anything you would like to see, any opinions you have on this Pokemon game, anything you don't agree with me, anything like that. Make sure you subscribe for more content, because I will be uploading pretty much every day, 2 videos a day, and I do stream quite regularly as well. At the moment it's been every day, but it might have to die down in the future because of stuff that I will have to do. But yeah, there's always content coming out for you guys, and just let me know what you guys would like to see. Just hit 100 subs when I was recording this, so yeah, thank you guys a lot, and I hope you enjoy this. Make sure to spread the word about my channel as well if you're tuning in for the first time, because it all helps me. The more I can do, the more better content I can get out there for you guys, and also the more easier it is for me to get this content out for you, because I will be able to make sure I've got the time for it, because especially if in the future I do eventually get paid for it, I could make this my job and I'll earn money from it, so I will dedicate myself 100% to this, whereas unfortunately I do have to work at the moment, so sometimes work might take over, but I will always make sure there's a video for you, at least one a day. Streams, I will make sure I try to stream every now and then, but yeah, thank you for always joining in, thank you for the 100 subs, and I hope you all tune in to the next videos and whenever I stream. If you want to know when I stream and that, follow the Twitter down below, because that's where I will update. I also update on my TikTok, so yeah, go follow those 2 social medias. But anyway, thank you for joining, and I will see you later.